Hello, welcome to Pendragon Poetry. Today's talk we're going to be talking about John Jarmain. Now he's quite an unknown poet, I'd say, from the vast majority of people. He's World War II. He served in the 51st Highland Division, which fought at Alamein, and along with another gentleman in the same regiment, Hamish Henderson, they created some of the greatest World War II poetry I've ever written. It's on the par with Owen and Sassoon. You know, I don't know how well they knew each other, but they could have had that sort of Byron Shelley connection, or Wordsworth Coleridge connection, or Sidney Spencer. I think they helped fuel each other's poetry. And he died in a brave action in Normandy in 1944. I think that his death day is coming up on the 26th of June. But I was just going to read you some of his poetry, which I've got from a book by a gentleman called James Crowden. It's a very good book. This has got more than just the poetry. It's got, you know, recollections from some people who knew Jarmain, some interesting biographical details, some nice photos too. But anyway, I'm not trying to sell a book. I'm trying to show you just how good Hamish Henderson is. So this is, I mean, he only ever produced one book. That was, you know, in his lifetime. Well, and then that was published posthumously. He did a novel as well. But a certain number of these poems, combined with some of the elegies by Hamish Henderson, and you have, I think, the ultimate English poetry of World War II. But it's up to you to decide. So this is an introductory poem called These Poems, written at Mareth, Tunisia, March 1943. And remember, we're going to get the desert in his work here. We're going to feel the desert as a soldier. He was a pipe-smoking intellectual captain, you know, rather than the gruff, shouty lot. So, and there's also the element of, like, Rupert Brooke. He was going to fight at Gallipoli, so he was inspired with the, you know, the Trojan element, the Homeric element. He died of malaria before he even got there. You know, but this guy lived through it. Okay, these poems. You who in the evenings by the fire may read these words of mine, I'll let you see the desert bare in the print smooth line. Listen, these poems were not made in rooms, but out in the empty sand, where only the homeless Arab roams in a sterile land. They were not at tables written, with placid curtains drawn, but by candlelight begotten of the dusk and dawn. They had no peace at their creation, no twilight hush of wings, only the tremble of bombs, the guns' commotion, and destructive things. So yeah, so he's writing his poetry in the middle of, you know, like the second battle of El Alamein, 10 days, you know, but he's still writing poetry in the middle of it, vital battles. And I love that poem actually, because it's the way he's placing flowers in the desert, that, you know, the people. Here it is. El Alamein. This is the manuscript, what he sent back. They recently found about 130 letters of his, which some of the poetry was originally in and stuff. And I think it's a fertile ground for study. Well, hopefully Jarmain is going to become as important to English poetry as Owen. So this is El Alamein. I'm reading poetry, dogs. Chill out. There are flowers now, they say, at Alamein. Yes, flowers in the minefields now. So those that came to view that vacant scene, where death remains and agony has been, will find the lilies grow, flowers and nothing that we know. So they rang the bells for us and Alamein, bells which we could not hear. To those that heard the bells, what could it mean? That name of loss and pride, El Alamein. Not the murk and harm of war, but their hope, their own warm prayer. It will become a staid, historic name, that crazy sea of sand, like Troy or Agincourt. Its single fame will be the garland for our brow, our claim. On us, a fleck of glory to the end, and there our dead will keep their holy ground. But this is not the place that we recall, the crowded desert crossed with foaming tracks, the one blotched building lacking half a wall, the grey-faced men, sand-powdered over all, the tanks, the guns, the trucks, the black, dark, smoking wrecks. So be it, none but us has known that land. El Alamein will still be only ours, and those 10 days of chaos in the sand. Others will come who cannot understand, will halt beside the rusty minefield wires and find their flowers. Beautiful. I love that. Where is it? The one blotched building lacking half a wall. That's Alamein train station. I'll just do one more. I love this one. At a war grave. It should be as powerful in the end, I think, as like if I should die, then only think of me. This is a beautiful poem. Written at El Alamein, 30th of October 1942, and he's gone back to check it out. No grave is rich, the dust that herein lies, beneath this white cross mixing with the sand, was vital once, with skill of eye and hand and speed of brain. These will not re-arise, these riches, nor will they be replaced. They are lost and nothing now, and here is left only a worthless corpse of sense bereft, symbol of death and sacrifice and waste. Beautiful. So we'll just do one last one for the road. These I'm just walking some new dogs if you were wondering what they were. Daisy's still here, down here. Hi Daisy. Let's do one more poem. She knows that I do the poetry. The dogs are like, oh, what are you doing? In fact, let's just leave it there. Let's just leave it there. I thoroughly recommend John Jarmain. I hope he becomes a massive, you know, he's the kind of guy people should study alongside Owen and Sassoon and all that stuff. So if you've enjoyed today's post, there will be more. The weather's finally turned in Scotland. It's been really shit for about 3 weeks. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to subscribe. And then, see you next time.